Good morning, everybody. My name is Tony Ragazzi. Most of you already know me as Director of Training, as a mentor here at Golden Ticket, uh, as the owner and lead agent for the Ragazzi Realty Group, et cetera, et cetera. Welcome to the listing process A to Z. What I wanted to do here is put together a comprehensive workflow, if you will, what to do when you're taking a listing all the way through to the process, closing, and even post-close systems. So let's get right to it. I want to start with the appointment prep. We're not going to get into prospecting, how to get listings, etc. Those are other classes for that. What I do, and again, we all work a little bit different, but I've been doing this for 35 years now, and I have a flow, I have a process. I have my listing appointment set, so I need to do a couple things. I need to do the CMA. I need to do the listing presentation, which I already have pretty much canned and ready to go. And I have to do the contract. And we're not going to get into the contract because I teach contracts classes separately. I will go through what I take, however. So I'm going to share my screen. And you guys should see my email now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go directly to the MLS, sign in, and I'm going to do a CMA. I actually did the CMA yesterday for reals. I'm going to take out in Temecula. So in order to do a CMA, and while we do classes on this too, I'm going to give you the quickest, simplest way. So we go to hover over search. This is residential, and most of the ones you're going to do are detail. I'm going to go all active, pending, and sold statuses within a mile of my subject property, which is 32046 Calle Caballos in Temecula. And see, eventually it's going to pop up there, and I'm just going to click on that, and that's going to select the map. Okay, if you don't do that, it's not going to select the map. It's just going to give you a big map of California. Now, I can get really particular and click single family residence. And I usually don't. Out here, it's safer to, but if I'm in a more urban area with some, townhomes and some homes together, sometimes even on the tax rolls, that townhomes are misclassed as single family residence. So the more open your search, the more information you're going to get. Okay, so I'm going to unclick this for now, even though I clicked it yesterday. And that's all I'm going to do. I want everything. Okay, it's going to give me 100 matches, 101 matches. Okay, now I actually know Temecula entirely too well. I don't want anything on the south side of the 79. These are all going to be townhomes anyways. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to make sure of the area. Most of my results are in this kind of U-shaped, and that's where I'm going to want to stay. I can probably go out here a little bit. This is all similar construction. Again, nothing on the south of the 79, and probably not even this area here. I mean, that's 1.8 million. I know that's off. And these are probably townhomes that very well could be. So my subject property is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,417 square feet on a 7,405 square foot lot built in 03. This is a tenant occupied property. Although they say it's in pretty good shape, it's tenant occupied, so it's probably not going to be pristine. So the first thing I'm going to do is hope I get lucky and find a model match. So again, this is 2,417 square feet. So notice what I did. I open this up so 100 results are on the same page, so I'm not scrolling page after page. Everything's on one page and easily to access. So 2417 is the magic number, and I have one on Calle Caballos, 32046. So this is half a block down. I don't always get this lucky 40% of the time, I would say. But also, I'm going to go 100 square foot above and below because it's going to get me close. Now, I can already tell you I've got more results than I want to include in the CMA. I normally don't want to include more than 5 or 6. That's going to tell the story I want to tell. Okay, so now I've got this. Now, before I delete all these others, I'm going to go back to the map. I'm going to scroll in. So this red is the red dot is the subject property. I want to see the properties that are closest to it, even if they're considerably bigger or smaller, because it's going to tell me the story about that hyperlocal block or two area. And also, especially if it's on the same street, or like this guy probably comes home, Margarita to Di Portola, in and out. If it's something he sees, because remember, we see signs in our area and we're very curious about them. So here's one on the same street, considerably higher than what his property is worth, but I'm going to include it because it's competition because it's active, but it's really not competition because it's nowhere similar. And B, he sees it every day. He wants to know this information. And here's one next block over that's considerably larger too. So I'm going to include it for now. I may not include it in my final report. And that's all I need. So now I'm going to go down here to refine and narrow, and that's going to kill the noise. So now only the items I checked. Okay. Now I'm looking at this and I've got 595 to $1,000,008. Okay, but 1,165 realistically. I need to cut this down. So let's look at year built 2003. So this is an older one, also $1,000,008. On 2 3/4 acres. So this is so out of whack. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to print this up separately just to show him, rather than include it in my CMA, because it's going to skew the averages and everything. So I'm not going to want to do that. I can tell by the model match that 2417 at 760 and from a week ago. I can't ask for a better comp. Now let's look to make sure it's not destroyed or has golden walls or anything like that. It's vacant. It's in good shape. It's got carpet, which most people don't like anymore, but carpet's in good shape. Granite. Recessed. Beautiful bathrooms. Those are still original counters and cabinets. So I'm going to imagine that the property that I see is going to be in similar condition, certainly not better condition than this. Nice little backyard, cul-de-sac, backs to a main street, so that's not as desirable. Got a little bit extra yard there on the right, but that doesn't really hold much value. You have commercial there. I mean, there's a nice buffer there, but you are siding to commercial and backing to a main street. So that's going to cost you a few bucks in appraised value. Okay, so I'm going to really lean heavily on a 760 value. So that's the story I want to tell, unless there's something way out of whack, right? So 100 square foot smaller, considerably smaller and older. January, we were in a different market than we're in today. Last December, certainly different. Okay. January. Okay, kill the noise again. These in the sixes aren't part of the story I want to tell. Again, we're 100 square foot smaller. I don't need to show these. 600, that's larger. This is interesting. This is a rec. Not a rec, but certainly not upgraded. No recessed lighting, no upgrades at all. Still very original. Okay, so I can safely remove that. They tried to get 7, they couldn't. Okay, let's see what else. Hey, Astoria, that's an active, and that's a very small lot. So we'll get rid of that. And this is the one that's on their street. Sorry, that 1.8 was a different house. This is the one I'm going to print out and show them separately. As you can see from the photos, it's nothing like what they own. Gorgeous house, but I'm not going to include it in the CMA. I will include it separately. Okay, so now I have 6. I'm happy with 6. This one on Camino Rabago is a little higher. It's 3,200 square feet. Not comparable. Okay, so now I have my 5. So now I'm going to click on Cloud CMA. Now you can do CMA here, and it'll give you CMA too. Cloud is a free benefit from the MLS. It just looks a lot nicer. I used the CMA for many years and got listings. It was okay, but Cloud's just a slicker product. So in Cloud, and of course, you have to fill out your profile, upload your photos, etc. We're going to I'll type in my client's name. I'll type in their address, 32046 Calle, and notice the drop down. Click, and it pre-fills everything. I always make sure it matches because sometimes it's wrong. And then you have the choice of adding a cover photo. It's going to automatically give you a Google Earth of the overhead tract if you don't. What I will do is I will type in the address. And it's going to give me Google Earth, but it's going to give me a street view. Nice house. Move that over. Then I'm going to use Snip and Sketch. Click on New. And now I'm going to drag. And this is the shot I want. I'll save that, and then I'll add it. I'll add it here. Now, then I'm going to click Fetch Listings. I'm not going to do it here because I'm going to show you the finished product. Okay, it's going to tell me or give me a place to put in my suggested price. I almost never put one single firm price, okay, because I'm going to put hopefully a very short range. Now, based on these numbers, again, model match at 760, but I've not seen it. So I'm going to put 750 to 770, and that's a pretty small range. So I'm going to add the $sign. Okay, and then I can move these around. I can sort them. So that's my comp with the heaviest weight. And then these rest are actually in the order the way they want. And then I'll click customize report. Then it's going to take me here, and I'm going to show you there. Read this. As you can tell, I do quite a few CMAs. And then here's my CMA. Nice cover page with that cover shot on it. It's got a nice little cover letter, which I update frequently because I'm talking about today's market. I run a team. This is kind of my quick bio. I don't want to bore them about me. Usually when I'm going on a listing presentation, I've already secured the listing, just how I do my business. I'm 95% repeat referral. But if I'm going there to win a listing, I'm leaning a little heavier on my listing presentation. Not so much this. This is in my listing presentation. My ugly mugshot, summary of the comparables. I refer to this in my presentation, and I'm not going to go heavy into the presentation because we do a class on that as well. And then it's going to have the comparables and photos. And then analysis, if I want to focus on that, 37 days on market, 98.78% of list, my suggested list, and that's it for that. I'm going to include a net sheet, a seller's cost sheet that's going to show what their closing costs are and how much they're going to net. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let's just find one. Here's one I'm closing today. So I do this in Excel. This is an Excel spreadsheet I created, and as my client info. This happened to be free and clear, so otherwise I'd put how much they owe here. Closing costs, these are all formulas with exception of commission and some of the fixed costs, tax proration, and of course they sign it, part of our compliance file. Okay, so I'm going to take that and my listing presentation and go win the listing. And contract. So what I'm going to take is I'm going to take the RLA package, okay, and depending on the clients, sometimes I will just wanting to get in and out and just get the basic sign, and then I'll send them the disclosures DocuSign, because I mean there's a good stack of disclosures. I like to get all the disclosures done up front. That way I'm not going back and forth with them. And once I get an offer, I can get disclosures right out to them, right out to the buyer. So now we have a contract signed. Now what do I do? Well, just so happen to have one of those. So here is a fresh listing that I just got signed this morning. We did everything via DocuSign this time, and that's okay too. I like, I'm old, I like paper, but I also like disclosing and going over the documents with a client. That's one way you deepen the relationship, and this is a relationship business. But this was kind of a unique situation. This guy's getting ready for deployment, lives in Ventura, the property's in Rowland Heights. So I'm going to download separate because I can't remember. Oh yeah, I sent him all the disclosures, everything at once. So that's going to download here in a second. See this little zip file coming up. And there's everything I sent to him. So I'm going to open these up one by one. They're going on my second screen, so you can't see them yet. But these are virtually every disclosure that I'm going to need that I can have him sign now. Obviously, there's going to be NHD and stuff like that later on, and net sheets. So I sent him a net sheet at 2 different prices because I haven't seen the inside of the house. It's a tenant occupied house. I just served the tenant with a 60-day notice, and I'll get to look at it in a couple months. So now I have everything downloaded. And again, I'm not going to get too into the nuts and bolts of the contract because we do contracts class. So now I've done this. And now I can get rid of that. And I go to command. Okay, so in command, by the time I've gotten this far, I already have my seller in as my contact. I should have an opportunity for him, and here he is, Holman Lee. Okay. So I have command work to do. So I go to documents, pick checklist type. This is residential. And then here is essentially every document I could possibly use. I am uploading it from my computer. Okay, so before I do this, I need to do this. I don't use a transaction coordinator. Okay, and I know here at Golden Ticket, we push you to use a transaction coordinator, and from a compliance standpoint, they're great at it. I believe that you need a transaction coordinator when and only when you're so buried in paperwork you no longer have time to lead generate. Well, I've only been in that situation a couple of times, and I do 30 to 50 deals a year. So not many people need a TC, in my opinion. There was a 2-year period, 2020 and 2021. I had 12 open escrows at all times. Never, well, I can't say never. I got to 13 once, but I closed one that day. So I still ended the day with 12. 12 is my limit. Okay. So I know when I need one. But I also work 70 to 75 hours a week too. And I'm going to show you a little bit about how I am able to work so efficiently. The paperwork on a transaction does not take me more than an hour. So first thing I do is I create a file in my computer's file tree, which I've already done here, 2314 Felicia. If you don't know how to do it, just go to Documents and right-click, click New, click Folder, and then you'll be able to name the folder whatever you like. So since I have this already, and these are the documents that I sent out, so all of these are unsigned. I'm going to go down to my Forms file, and I'm going to open up my document checklist. So I've created checklists for everything. This is a seller side checklist. And I'm going to complete it. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save it into that file tree so I don't save over my master, which I do sometimes. So I point it to Felicia and I name it. 2314 Felicia. All right, 2314 Felicia. Roland Heights. Date of listing now. What I did here listing agreement, because I didn't know when he was going to sign it, and I put it for a couple of days out. So he actually did it perfectly. The listing starts today. So 5/31. And down here is for when I get an offer. I've done it so where I put in the date of offer acceptance, the close of escrow period, and all these dates here change so I know when I need what. Okay. And then these check boxes, white are items I'm probably going to need. And as I get them, I check them off. So here I have the residential listing agreement, and I'm going to let's see, it's page 7. So I'm going to save it to the. I'm going to save it to Felicia as 07 RLA. And that was wrong. It should be 01. But I can change that very easily. Just have to let it save. While it's saving, I'm going to check that. So I have seller signature, I have listing agent signature. These are the only signatures that need to be on there. And then I'm going to shade it the same color. So now it's gray, it's done, it's out of the way. And I'm going to do this to every document I have. I'm not going to go through everything here because I'll be here 20 minutes just doing that. So I'm going to do that to all of those documents. And here I'm going to, I just double click, I can change it. And enter. See, so I'm going to do that to every piece of paper I have, even to the disclosures I have that I only have seller side. Let's say the transfer disclosure. Okay, I have the seller signature. I have my signature. Okay, and I will shade them the same way. So this tells me I need buyer signature on these documents. Obviously, we're not in escrow, so that's going to be a while. Okay, so now that that's done, I can go to the command side. I've opened up the command file, and I can upload the documents that are fully executed. Only the fully executed documents should be uploaded. So see, I clicked that. I went to my file tree. It was readily available. It's going to all be in order. And I've done that. So once I've uploaded all of my listing documents, and that's going to be the RLA, the SA is part of that package, the CCPA, the FHDA, agency, copy of the MLS active, which I'll show you in a moment. Profile if I have one, and do I have one? I did not do one on this one. I didn't need to. And that's it. So once I've done that, then I'm going to submit it. Okay, so Marcy, our compliance officer, can review it. So that way I know early, hey, I missed a signature, I missed an initial or something like that. It happens. I'm not perfect. I don't do the disclosures that he signed because none of those are fully executed. If it's not fully executed, that doesn't happen. So my next step in my checklist, now I've done the command side. Now I order a sign. I want a sign in my yard. So I use Quick Signs. There's several sign companies out there that you can use. A lot of people here use Upside Down. I used them for a few years. They suck. And they don't go as far as I go. And they're not really responsive. They take too long to get them up. They take way too long to get them down. I've had signs destroyed because they left them up too long. So to order a sign, all I have to do is fill out my information, payment information, where I want it, and then I email it to them. And it's up usually within 24, never more than 48 hours. It's just a simple email, and that's it. And I let them know, do I have any special instructions? Is it behind a gate? Do beware of dog? Do I want two signs? Maybe I'm on a corner lot, or I need a super tall post or something like that. So you know, is access code, gate codes, am I in a gated community? You know, everything they need to know. And then I'll send that off. Then I order termite. Almost all the time, I order a termite because I want to know if I have a $500 problem or a $5,000 problem. And then I'm going to use it as a negotiating tool, depending on the market. In today's market, I'm probably not doing it, doing the work. So I use Pink exterminators. You're free to use whoever you want. I've been using Pink for a number of years. They're phenomenal. Victor's great. And that's a simple phone call, which I won't go through right now, but hey, I need to order termite inspection on 2314 Felicia, Roland Heights. I will usually meet them there to do it. They're there 20, 30 minutes maximum, in and out, and I'll get a report in 48 hours. My next step is to coordinate any handyman work. And a lot of times I've done this beforehand. If I've met with them and won the listing and, we need to do a couple of things before we go live. Okay. I'm usually not doing this after the fact because I like to go live on a Thursday, and I'll explain why in a second. But if I need to paint some trim and get the yard done, or pull out some carpet, whatever it may be, it could be a little, it could be a lot. So it could be a few days, it could be a couple weeks, in which case I'd be on coming soon status. Okay, which is what this one's going to go on because I've got a tenant to deal with. And I like to go live on Thursday because it gives the MLS enough time to disseminate it to all of the 350 plus websites that we send our listings to, because I'm going to do an open house Saturday and Sunday, and I want to drive as much traffic as possible. And in fact, I will hold showings, even though I go live on Thursday, no showings Thursday and Friday. I want everybody there at the open house. So again, you're free to do whatever you like. That's what works best for me. Smoke detector, water heater, CO2 detector. Must be in there. And again, if I'm having handyman or contractors in there, I'm having them do it to code, because A, it has to be done, and B, if it's not done by the time the appraiser goes out, the appraiser's going to call it out, and he's going to have to come back out and revisit it and charge probably $300-400, and the seller's responsible for it. So I don't want my seller paying more than they have to. Staging. I am not a stager. Okay. Does it work? Yes, of course it works. In today's market, I don't feel it's always necessary. But staging isn't just adding. Staging is decluttering more than anything else. So on the listing appointment, I'm actually talking about staging. My favorite saying is the more of your baseboards you see, the more of your list price you're going to see. And most people have too much stuff on the walls. I usually say half. Pretend you're getting divorced, you're getting rid of half your stuff. And I don't care if it goes in the garage. Storage would be better, but depending on the house, but get it out of the house. And then photos. I'm going to call my photographer, get photos done. Do not ever use this. The only picture that gets done by this is when I'm leaving the house. I'm going to take a picture because I need at least one photo for the MLS. Okay, otherwise it's a $250 fine. So one photo as a placeholder, get my guy out there, then I get 50 photos and drone shots and Matterport and all that happy stuff, and then get all that uploaded a couple days later. So photos, professional photos, a must these days. I used to get away with my little digital camera, and hey, I take pretty good photos for it, but it just doesn't pass muster today. input into the MLS. So let's do that now. So we go to add edit, add new. It's residential. It's in LA County. I can put the street name. I can put the parcel number. Let's do the street name. Search. If it doesn't find it, which is rare, I can always go to the APN. It's not working. Okay, so now I will go, because I've already pulled up the tax roll and saved it. I will go, it is 8268.02.029. Search. Okay, this is weird.
Picture yesterday. Then Joyce,
I have
me and Ron were talking about it.
I have internet access.
You know what's scary? Is when the guys change up like 90.
Okay, well, we're gonna go old school on this one. I'm gonna start with a blank listing.
Pretty funny. That's a lot of those guys. Now, dude, they're more like.
I'm thinking we're having internet
Yeah, right.
difficulties.
They need to put, they need to like. Kind of use it.
Okay, it finally worked. So we're going on as coming soon, because again, I've got tenants to deal with. Sometimes we'll go straight to active, but I'm almost always doing coming soon. Next tab is basics. So my list price, which I can't remember right this second. We listed at 650. Number available, yes. So again, if you are able to search by parcel number, which you can 99.9% of the time, this is already going to pre-fill. Okay, but since we didn't, we've got to put it all in. Parcel number is 8268.02.029. LA County, Roland Heights. Anything that is yellow or goldenrod here must be completed. Okay. MLS area, Roland Heights. Street is 2314. Alicia Avenue 748. They still have directions, even in the days of GPS. I just put general area, so this is east of Fullerton, north of Mescal. There's no land lease involved. This is a single family home. House. No common interest. This is single family residence. This was built in 1961, one of the original tracts in Roland Heights. Your built source is the assessor. This is a standard listing, nothing funky about it. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I don't know if it has any half or 3/4. If I find out different once I'm in it, of course I can change that. It's 1,131 square feet, and we can getting that from the assessor. Lot size is 6536. We're getting that from the assessor. Number of units 1. Lot size units is square feet. So 2-car garage, it's not in the senior community. There's no HOA. We aren't going to lease it. It's single story. A tree location. You enter from the front. Okay, now description. This is the part I've always been horrible at, to be quite honest. I don't have the flowery type verbiage. That's just not me. So mine usually kind of suck. But for right now, since it's coming soon, I'm just going to write just that. When I have my photos, I'm going to have a link to a virtual tour, and I'll be able to put that in here. Syndication remarks. A lot of people don't know about this. So in the public remarks, this is what goes to the Zillows and Trulias of the world. We're not allowed to put anything personal in here. Down here, I can put my name and phone number in. So I do. You know, I will put something like the Ragazzi Realty Group is pleased to present this great opportunity to own one items. Features. So again, we're going to have some goldenrod, some not. So goldenrod absolutely must be there. Anything I have, I'm going to fill in. But again, this one I don't believe has central air. I don't know honestly what it has because I've seen the front door open. That's all I've seen. So I'm at this point I'm going to fill in a bare minimum. Normally I'm going to have all of this because I will have toured the home. But I'm just going to put none for everything. Although I know all bedrooms are down here. Put none for fireplace. I don't believe it does. I know it doesn't have a pool. There are no common walls because it's not attached housing. There's no view. It has a backyard. It has a lawn. Community features. Well, there's curbs. It is suburban. Road frontage type. That is a city street. And it is paved. Again, at this point, I'm just putting in a minimum. Security, of course, it's going to have CO2 detectors and smoke detector. Parking, well, there's a driveway and there's a garage. Garage actually faces the front. Main level bedrooms is 3, main level bathrooms is 2. The garage is attached. Don't know if there's direct access or not, but it is attached. It is on public sewer in that area, public water, not in the sticks. Okay, so that's it. Land terms is the next one. So our legal description, this is lot 0102 of tract 25576. We don't know about any special assessments. There shouldn't be in that area other than the normal, little tiny ones. This is in Roland School District. Since I live in the area, I actually know this. So Roland High School. Middle high is going to be Alvarado. Elementary That is probably showing. Possession will be immediate upon close of escrow because it's going to be vacant. Given the price point, we can certainly do, well, we are doing a 1031 exchange on it. We'll certainly accept cash. We'll accept conventional. We'll accept FHA. I like FHA. Unlike some listing agents think, oh, they're not as qualified. Well, it's the easiest loan in the world to do other than a VA, which will do VAs as well. Okay, so that's everything we need on that office MLS. So as many of you know, I list for 6%, but since everybody's willing to work for 2% out there, I'm willing to pay them too. Except for all the crappy 2% buy sides that I have to work for. Listing contract date is today. It expires December 30th. I take 6-month listings. Full service. Start showing date, it's going to be a while. So we got 60 days. We're not going to be able to show it until August 1st. This is an exclusive right to sell. Residential, that's the only one I will use. There'll be a sign up. Not going to be any need to contact anybody because it's going to have a lockbox. Currently, it's tenant occupied though. So right now, it's not going to have a lockbox on it. I will eventually change that to Supra. Green, and this is now a requirement. So no, there's nothing green to it. There's no solar. There's no ADU. And I can also pre-fill my open house. Again, normal listing, I'm going live tomorrow. I'm filling in the open house information for the weekend. But that's it. The one thing I didn't do, and this will normally pre-fill when you search from the tax, is the map pin. So this is correct. And now we'll click submit listing, and I need to well, I'll do that later, but because I need to upload the photo. Now it tells me if I've made errors, and you almost always make an error. So while parcel numbers have dashes, the MLS doesn't like them. So I've done that. In land terms, it'll, there we go, tax. Other assessment, how much is our property taxes? 6048 was the last amount. And coming soons don't like that. I figured it wouldn't. So we're going to have to back this off at 21 days. So what I'm going to have to do in this particular case is when it goes live, I'm going to have to put it on hold. But I have to input it. Okay. I must have missed by a day. Oh no, I missed by a month. There we go. Now it's assigned it a MLS number. And it's there for everybody to see. Okay, so that's the next step. Now marketing. Okay. Of course, I can't do a lot of my marketing until I have flyers, or until I have photos rather. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to command. I'm going to go to designs.
Good, up and on. Well. Yeah.
And I'm going to do 2 flyers. I'm going to do an open house flyer, and I'm going to do a just listed flyer.
Yeah.
So I tend to use the same template over and over again.
Well, unfortunately,
It'll take just a second. Okay. So again, command very easy to use here with designs. You know, all I have to do is click on a photo, click over here on photos, and just use that as an example. I can just click here, click this button to replace the image, and bam. So when I upload my property photos, that'll be here. I just go bam, bam, bam. Here I put in the information. And since I've already gotten everything, all my basics here, my logo's up here, KW logo's here, my Regazzi Realty Group stuff here, and now I can print. Same thing for just listed. I'm also going to order 250 just listed postcards for the neighbors. I want to let everybody know. Remember, every listing should net you at least 1 more transaction. So this is one of the ways we do that. I recommend door knocking the postcards. I honestly, I don't have time to door knock anymore. And if you look at me, I haven't knocked a door in 17 years. Actually, I lied. I knocked and expired over the weekend. But again, I don't door knock. It does work. It's how I built my business. So it's a great way for branding. It's a great way to do guerrilla marketing as well. Okay, so now that we've done that, I've done my open house flyers. I've done my just listed flyers. Now I'm going to create a web page for that particular home. Every listing you have, I recommend having a web page for if you're going to do Facebook ads or internet ads, because you want to have it point to that web page. And that web page is on your site. Okay. And that's very, very easy to do. We do that on the very bottom icon, consumer. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because this is designed to be more of an overview. However, I can go to, this is agent site pages. I can just simply create a new page on my agent site or as a landing page, better as a landing page. I name it here. I'll just simply name it with the address. And then I'll start building it here. I'm going to start pulling different stuff onto it, configure all my widgets, and then publish the page once I'm done. Should take me about 5 minutes. Social media, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my flyer, I'm going to publish that on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Now, once that's done, listings live, I'm going to do my open houses. See Open House 101 for how I prepare for that, and execute that. Now, fast forward X number of days, and I've got offers coming in. So If you're fortunate enough to get multiple offers, which is just about anything that's priced right these days, you need a way to sort them out. Well, this is just a simple spreadsheet that I've created to sort out the important stuff. So this is on the listing I'm closing today. We had 8 offers. I have stuff that I need for the counter offer, so I don't have to sort through all the offers multiple times. Date of the offer, the agent, the buyer's names, the price that they came in at, close of escrow period, inspection contingency, appraisal contingency, loan contingency, loan to value, or is it cash? Septic, this is Irvine, so it's not on septic, but if they're asking for this a septic cert, if they're asking for a termite report, anything else funky that they might be asking for, what my counter is going to include, other than the standard, unfortunately, highest and best and seller's choice of services. And then this is for after they counter back my multiple counter, helps me choose which one's going to be the winner, and any notes I have. Need to do an SIP, need to specify the services because they were all over the map. Very, very simple to do. That way also, when like these particular sellers are old school, they don't DocuSign. I mean, I'm doing it very much old fashioned. Rather than print out 160 pages, I just print this out, said this is what we got, this is what we're doing. Here's the SMCO, the seller multiple counter offer on all of them, and then we'll come back with the winner. Yeah, we got them back, we discussed it over the phone, made an appointment, signed the offer on the counter. And then we open escrow. Okay, opening escrow, very simple process. Email. Here's what I do. Email Sarah, got another one. Here's the pertinent information: address, seller's name, buyer's name, close of escrow, terms, cash, finance, whatever, listing agent, selling agent, commission, how it's split, title. Escrows typically don't order NHD or home warranty. I'll do that. I'm a control freak. More and more sellers are wanting to deal directly with my client. I'm not really happy with that. Again, it takes me out of the equation, and I need to be in the equation. I need to be cultivating that relationship with the client. So all documents go to me and I get them signed. And I attach the offer and all counters. They don't need the BIA and all that extraneous stuff. They just need the offer, the counters. They need the license to stay in possession. And the CVC. So that's that part. To order home warranty, I use Fidelity. There's their website, log me right in. And this is really, really simple. It takes me, a minute. Order home warranty. Ignore CRES, our office doesn't participate. Zip code of the property is single family under 5. I represent seller. Next, I used the enhanced single family enhanced plan, $625. Okay, if it has a pool, I'm going to check that if I want any additional coverages. Now the enhanced covers the AC already, so I don't need to add it. But if there's anything here I would be concerned with, especially as a buyer side too, then I'm going to click next. Put in the property. And comes up, click it, next, seller information or escrow information, then seller and buyer. So I'm ordering it by myself. I appear because I've already done this. I don't use the TC, the cooperating agent. If it's somebody that's already done business, I just put their name in and hey, there's Scotty. Or yeah, and then I'll click next, seller, buyer, and submit. That's it. Seller's name, buyer's name, and submit. That's all there is. Then NHD. It's over here, preferred NHD. That is the NHD company that we own. Log me in. And order a report. I prefer to order it by parcel number. So again, that parcel number is 8268 012 029. Search, don't hit enter on this. The site doesn't respond to that, it resets it. So make sure you use the mouse and click. What type of report? I always just get the basic. Escrow number, close of escrow. I'm not going to complete this order right now. Next. Then again, type in listing agent. So for me, I'm already here. Type in Sarah's name. Click next. And then check this box. So that way it emails me the reports and click generate report. I'll have that report in about 2 or 3 minutes. Emailed. But I'm going to wait until I have an open escrow. So once the buyer wires the deposit in, escrow is going to cut the escrow instructions. Escrow instructions are going to look something like this. So this is what the escrow instructions look like. It just simply regurgitates the purchase contract. We get those, and since I've already done my disclosures, the only thing I need to get signed is going to be the NHD signature page. That NHD signature page looks like this. And at the same time, I'm going to coordinate the home inspection and the appraisal. So depending on what the contract states, how long they have, but they're going to contact me typically. If the home's vacant, they probably aren't. They're just going to use the lockbox. As a listing agent, I don't need to be there for either. If I'm worried at all about the appraisal, I do like to be there for the appraisal because I want to hand them the comps that I used for the sales price. And it'll also let me kind of get a feel for the appraiser to see if he's an idiot or not, and if I'm going to have issues with it. Then at that point, I'm going to follow for contingency removals based on the contract. Yeah, first one that usually goes down is the inspection, which is important because I want to know if there's going to be a request for repair, if there's a deal breaker in there, and hey, I need to go back on the market. Ideally, like in this particular case, I had 2 or 3 really solid backup offers. They sent me a request for repair that was rather absurd. I told them thank you, get me cancellation, and I'll go with backup offer tomorrow. That's satisfied their repair request, and we end up just denying it, and we went forward. Backup offers equal leverage. Potential issues. So we might have inspection issues. We might have deal breakers, or we might have serious issues there. Or we might be in a more balanced market where buyers have a little leverage and we might want to acquiesce and do some repair issues, or a really special property. We might get a short appraisal. So what happens in a short appraisal? Well, the buyer is not obligated to pay more than the purchase contract as long as they keep their appraisal contingency, which nowadays is all the time. Sometimes the seller will insist and will cancel escrow. Most of the time, they'll back down to the appraised value. And that's going to kind of ebb and flow. I mean, I would say we're 95% of the time, we're going to go with the appraised value. Then once we get through that, as we get close to the end, final walkthrough is going to happen. I don't need to be there for final walkthrough either, as a listing agent. Again, unless it's owner occupied, and which then the owner's going to be there, I will be there. And then there's a form for that, the VP, verification of property condition. I'll follow for that, and there will be a estimated seller's closing statement coming from escrow that's going to show how much proceeds that they're going to get. And the seller must sign that in order for us to record. So I'll send that out to them for signature. And then if we've resolved all the problems, we get to close. And once close of escrow happens, we figure out possession. Possession's already in the contract. Standard, for owner-occupied homes is we give them 3 days. If it's vacant, they get possession immediately. I don't like to give the keys away while my seller's still living in the house. So I'm pretty adamant about that, because unfortunately I've had buyers be overzealous and try to kick them out. So I'm not doing that. So at that point, I will order my sign down, same form as I showed you earlier, just a sign down request. I will go pull my lockbox off and hold the keys in my office. If it's a listing that's way out in the boonies, I'm probably using a combo lockbox, and I'll just tell my sellers to take it inside and put it out when they leave. And basically I give the buyer's agent a free combo lockbox, because I'm not driving to Paris to go pick up a $20 lockbox. Closing gifts, fun stuff. Okay, so now we're closed. Everybody's happy, hopefully, usually. I want to give my client a little token and say thank you for doing business with me. I really appreciate you. And as a listing agent, I'm usually getting a buyer side out of this too, unless they're leaving the state. So I'm not the type that just blindly gives the same closing gift to everybody. I do like to personalize it, make it something that they'll use, something that they'll remember. I've seen some great cutting boards and Cutco knives and stuff like that. A lot of people like to brand their closing gifts because, hey, you can write it off. And it's going to vary. I mean, if I've got a first-time buyer buying a fixer-upper, guess what? They might get some tools in a Home Depot gift card. I've given concert tickets. I mean, you name it. I've done it. I don't have a set spending limit. Honestly, it's how much I like the client. I recommend that you do, again, promo the hell out of this. Do the cheesy picture with the keys and you and the clients. Absolutely. Throw that on social media. Throw that everywhere. That's also the time you ask for testimonials while they're high, while they really, really like you. Then once that's done, it's back to command. Now, you should be doing this. Get back to there before close of escrow. So I jumped ahead just a little bit. If you want to get paid on time, should do this before close of escrow. And this is more uploading. So let me go back to my command screen. So here we have one that we're closing today, clear to close, and realistically, I should have done this a couple of days ago. I'm going to go to documents. I'm uploading from my computer. We go to under contract. So now this is all the buyer stuff. So I'm going to upload one by one. RPA, agency. You do this enough time, you know exactly where the documents are. BIA is 7. PRBS is 29. I'm sorry, PRBS is not 29. PRBS is 9. WFA is 29. FHDA is 19. WFA is 29. CCPA is 18. We don't need that. We don't need that. This was an FHA. We have a seller multiple counteroffer. That's always 11. This one, we actually had a seller counteroffer as well because we had to clean some stuff up. And we have the DCO back from the MCO. We don't have any of these. Escrow instructions are 20. Page 16, the RPA, which is acknowledged by escrow. EMD is 13. Prelims 21. Lot of documents. Commission instructions 22, I believe. Syphilis form is in the 50s somewhere. 52. And see, this is where I realized that we have a new form that we need. So I need to chase that down. And write me a note because I'm not going to do it right this minute. So we're going to continue to upload our TDS, our SPQ. Don't need an ESD. We do need an MCA. That's 10. Our affiliated business disclosures 17. Avids, which are 25 and 26. I'm sorry, 26 and 27. SBSA is 30. LPD is 31. Water heaters 32. See, most of these are in somewhat order. They started out in another system, so they were exactly in order when we used to use dot loop. Booklet receipt. WDFA. FDA, whatever it is, WDFA. NHD report. Be careful to do the report on the signature page in the right spots. FERPA, always required, 38. Inspection report. 41, I believe, yes. And your contingency removals, which are 40. As for repairs, which we had, even though we denied them. BIW for the termite, because we didn't do a termite. I don't think we did an addendum. Yeah, we did an addendum. We, of course, did an SIP. I think I have a copy of the appraisal on this one. No, I don't. That was on the other one. You're not going to always have a copy of the appraisal, so miscellaneous estimate, that's where I put my net sheet. Actually, I did that up front. So miscellaneous docs, that's where I put my tax printout. And also the SPT. Okay, so this is fine now. This is going to come back rejected because I'm missing the DIA. But I'm going to click submit, and that way Marcy's going to be able to jump on that. Closed, I won't be able to do until after it's closed because I'm not going to have any of these documents except for the home warranty. That's all I'm going to have. So I've got to wait for that. So once that's signed off, I get paid. Then what am I going to do? Well, now I'm going to go back to contacts. The shortcut, just take her there. Now, this is the sale of her house. She's buying a place in Villa Park. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change her address.
Get a mohawk or what?
No, I didn't mark as a lead.
Well,
so her new address is going to be 17991 Oakfield. And of course, we click that. So it's going to assign her to a neighborhood. I'm going to go even in more detail. And I'm going to put her birthday in. Home anniversary is actually going to be on Friday. So that's going to be 2nd. Yeah. Remember, you get your health score is dependent on some of these things that we're putting in. In fact, I think 4% for each one of these 3 things. So notice I'm at 68% now. I think this will put me at 100 or 96. 96%. So I'm missing social media on her. She's not on social media. So now I go to Smart Plans and I'm going to add her to a monthly neighborhood nurture. But I'm going to start this in July. We'll make it on the anniversary. I'm going to add her to my home anniversary,
Here's the bar chair,
and
brown chair. That's
birthday.
my branded job.
So this assures I stay in touch with her. Some of it is going to happen automatically. I'm not even going to know about. Some of it's going to trigger tasks, which when I log into command, as you see here, I'm going to have tasks to do. This is team command, but yours is going to be very similar. So I can click on my tasks. I don't have any, but I have. Amir needs to get busy. And then once we do the task, we input our results. So that's my post-closing system. And that is listing A to Z. So once you create checklists and you adhere to them, it keeps people close. It keeps you efficient and it keeps people close. And of course, we live off of repeat and referral business. So that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for spending an hour or so with me. I appreciate you. My phone number is 714-864-8609. If you need anything, Tony Ragazzi at kw.com. Feel free to reach out. Thank you so much, guys.
There was no.